Alright, we're gonna finish this. If it kills us today, we're gonna finish this case and finally get to the I guess, the meat of things. Because I think we're almost done with this. We just discovered the Karare and the wound with the guy's tooth operation going on. And we just found out this guy is a thief stealing stuff from that restaurant. In my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido, too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it onto the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Yeah, so we're gonna, hopefully, to summarize what's going on, that guy was a thief stealing things from the restaurant to pay for both him and his baby son, Ido. And he stole that guy's really rare coin. It's ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett. Of course, dear lady. Of course, how rude of us. I'm still simping pretty hard. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the coal bomb was cruelly perpetrated by this baby shuttle sergeant. We surely appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Ooh, I hate her.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it? Well, oof.
So picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
I need to find the phone. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, there it is. Never mind. All questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered. I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you're free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And a good day.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something doesn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Wait, Miss Brett.
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. Going to need a she evidence counsel. Miss Brett's words are truly contradictory. Where is the evidence to prove it? Aha! He had a knife and fork. Photographic print of the sheen taken immediately after the incident occurred. Excuse me. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak and the spread had been eaten before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten.
Oh!
I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
To take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah!
Oh!
Ah!
Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in this steak at all.
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry.
Shut up!
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course. This will be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything...
I've heard enough. So has my stork. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Of course. Dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized that the catastrophic implication of these teeth marks and the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain on I saw seems to have disappeared. Ow. And most importantly, sorry, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I can accept these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that this tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been... what?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
It's absurd. The trial has run several hours already.
Oh, you're telling me, bro. This is like my 6th episode.
And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? That cannot be. I don't believe you have it.
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. It's like dog running around. If that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Oh, I hope so. Ooh, just yeah. It's this dude because he collects all the that stuff. He collects all the crime scene stuff. The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No. I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chopping away my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Karakura-san's coin, he told us he slipped it under the steak. You're watching, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the stake that the detective submitted evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal. I was saying this earlier.
But that makes no sense. A plate was taken from the victim's table.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. You would suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. You did switch the plates.
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes, after that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted the stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If you decide to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the foreign ladies' tables. Foreign ladies' table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It's called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. Nor was it was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable.
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes.
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve that evidence, you had taken both. Ah! She's gonna eat her mask. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, gold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection.
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
And thinks he remembers?
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, will you show the evidence to the court? Present the beef steak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Turnabout music. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak on its plate. Please feel free to examine it. There it is, blood mark. Boom. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Yes.
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Ah!
It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is.
Ah!
That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you!
My bird doesn't like you. Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! Squawk! Yeah! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Really long scream. What the hell? Like, what the hell? Seriously, what the hell? Oh my gosh. Well, shit. I wasn't expecting that.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of this water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been eating alone. And leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you had decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair so that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point.
Oh shit, wrong. Sorry.
So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt? So I was right. There were 2 guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed it where you were sure that I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead.
naturally, a gunshot caused a commotion, at which the Waitake appeared.
Obviously, I'd assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency,
Yes?
I wonder, might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
She was weird. Who wears an entire bird on their hat? It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution's in agreement.
This can't be. Takasuchi Aochi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to the tough opposition.
Ah! Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, yes?
This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Counsel. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Oh, look, he finally pulled a sword out. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Haranoto, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science is rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel that science will soon bring up new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it'll look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Sugi. Yes. After this trial, you are scheduled to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes. In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Woohoo! This court is now adjourned. Oh my god, that was so fun! Yeah, I'm really invested, and I really hope I can finish this one. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it! I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it's a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget it. Didn't all I work is certainly paid off. Oh, is it that guy? I know it's her.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusted judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result, too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father?
Oh yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Oh, I like her. She's really cool.
Speaking of Mikotoba...
Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Michael Caine. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it's you I should be thanking you, after all. Your effort exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Ah, yes, It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in his country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not?
Matter of consular jurisdiction. Who's that? Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about the consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice?
British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard.
Why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed a friendship treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then so long as this is not a serious incident of highly political nature to our respective governments.
They can invoke consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making secret arrangements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid that's for the young student. For the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There never was any danger of comeuppance for her.
I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case to a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
Oh, sorry, wrong thing. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves.
Yes, change is coming,
and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening called for celebratory drink.
But Professor...
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun.
In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? I'm simply one hell of a butler.
I'm sorry, that was the one time I'm going to make that joke.
Let's not worry about details for now.
To Le Carnival. Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. Le Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, thank you.
So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma.
Yes, Ryunosuke?
I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today.
I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one who's destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All that tense and verbal combat, I never want to go through that again. I keep pressing the trigger.
Sorry.
I just did what you told me to do, that's all.
Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Rinosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. Being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, and even then, well, that's not something anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Don't believe in the... What was his name? I'm trying to remember what the guy's name from... Don't believe in the commoner that you believe in, or the Simon that I believe in. Believe in the Simon that believes in you. I'm just... Gurren Lagann, that's what it was. Thanks, Kazuma. Your drill is the one that will pierce the heavens. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Oh, he gave you the evidence, bro. Because of the help and support of these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Oh yeah, we did it. We got through the first trial and it was so good. This game is... I love this game. This is such a good game. I think I'm going to play it like all the way through, hopefully. I hope people are enjoying this game too. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do love this game. This is great. I think I might play it all the way through, actually. If not on YouTube, just on my own time, probably. Thanks for watching. And if you didn't, you wouldn't be here, would you? I'm sorry, I always ask people that, but you know. Thanks again. So long.